Everybody, it's Colin here with Nomadic Rigs, and today we're going to do a walk around of our newest addition, Walter here. Walter White. He is our 3500 Dodge Ram diesel Cummins, and we've got this beautiful, if you can see it, there we go. We got the Kenai on Walter. So we're going to do a walkthrough. We're going to show you how to get everything set up, what's included, and all the things you need to know about running Walter. This truck is 22 feet long, so just so you know that, it's quite long. So when you're turning, your turns are much wider, and you're really going to use your mirrors a lot to see where you are on the road and also just to check what's going on. Okay, so it's got the camper on, and the camper has tie downs. Okay, and so they're in lock position. And what you want to do is you just want to check the tie downs every time before you leave, and you just lift this latch right here. You see that? Yeah. And then you can pull, but if you can't pull, it's already tight. So you're just going to put it back in the lock position. Okay. You gotta make sure it's in lock position, and you're gonna check.
Every time we take the truck, we check.
You could just put your finger on it. Put your finger on the.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So you've got propane tanks. Okay. So you have 2 propane tanks. Yeah. They're 10 pounds each. This is gonna last you forever. They're full. But you have to, before you're gonna use the stove, you have to turn on the propane from here. So now I've opened it. Okay. And now I've closed it. Okay, there's a shutoff valve at the stove as well. So once you open it, you have to open the shutoff valve. Before you drive every time, close the propane. Yeah, if you're going on a ferry, they're going to be like, do you have propane tanks? Yes, how many? 2. They're going to give you a thing to put over top of it. Okay, so that's your propane tank. This one's not tied up because I couldn't get it, but it's not going to move, so you're good. Okay, so there's that. Okay, we go over here. This is another storage compartment. Okay, but this is a rug. Okay, so if you're in a camp spot and you want to put it down on the ground, basically like a mat. It's a mat. It's a rug, right? Your ladder, if you need to get up onto the roof there's a ladder, but there's room to store other things in here if you need to or if you want to, okay? So that's it for that. This is your awning. Yeah, it's your awning. It's very easy to use as well. Got that. I believe you have to move this into the open position. Another one here, and then it just pulls. And you just pull it out all the way, and then you'll lock it in place, okay? And then you put it back, you just unlock it, push it back in, and just make sure the clasps are done, okay? You can have this in a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, it should be fine. If it gets super blistery, close it, yeah. Okay, we'll do some other stuff here. These are your leveling blocks, okay? So you might get to a campground area and one side might be higher. What you need to do is you need to make it level. So to do that, you have to put 3 of them at the minimum. Okay, so if I just want to put it under this tire, I would take this like that. Well, not like that. Like so, okay? And you shove it underneath there, and then you drive on it. Okay? So if you need it higher, you have to use 3 at the bottom, and then 2, and then 1. It always has to be in a combination. Yeah. Pyramid. Good job. Okay, we got more stuff back here as well. The back seat in this one doesn't have too much in it, but it's got enough stuff for you. Okay, so you've got, just so you know, this is for the toilet. You put some in after it's been dumped, and it just keeps the smell down. Okay, you've got an extension cord here. It's okay. See the extension cord? You might need that. Okay, so that's the extension cord for if you need to use shore power in the camper. And then there's a hatchet here for chopping wood pieces. And then there's some bug spray. And then that's it in there. These are chairs. These are your camping chairs. They're reclining. They're really nice. So you've got 2 chairs. The back seat folds up, folds down, but you got your stuff back here, so you're all good there. That's that. And we'll do the inside of the truck after. But your mirrors also, if you're parking in town, fold the mirror in. Put it out. This is really good for you as well. Okay, we'll do the outside of the truck after. We'll go around camper. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is your diesel heater. If you're cold, you can turn it on. Chances are you're probably not going to use it, but you might, depending on how high you are. This is a water pack, so it's extra water. It's 2 gallons. So you just turn this. You untighten it, and then you untighten this one, and then it just slides right off. Okay? Very easy. But you got to tighten it. Again, just check these ones as well. This is good. It doesn't need to be tighter than that. This is, so in your sink, you have a drain. Now, this doesn't have any holding tanks. So there's no holding tanks, but there's a bucket with a hose. You're going to screw the hose on here. And then when you do your dishes, you just dump into the bucket. That's called gray water. And then you can dump that into a toilet, or some campsites have a gray water receptacle where you just dump it in. That's for all your dishes and whatever you wash with. So that gets hooked up there. That's where that goes. Other than that, that's the outside of the camper. Those two hooks are for if you want to use the ladder to get up top. Okay? Easy stuff. This is your step ladder. I highly recommend that you use it. Okay? It's a little tight when you open it, but that's okay. It's good. So you put it down. You just need to make sure that these are in place fully locked, and you'll hear it click. So once it clicks, you're good. Okay, so then when we get up, we always like to hang on to something and then just come up inside. Okay, so we're inside. There's lots to go through inside. Here, I'll start over here and I'll kind of work this way. Okay, so first thing is everything's plugged in right now. So I'll be able to turn stuff on and turn stuff off, and I'll show you what plugs I'm using, but everything is plugged. So first thing is the lights. It's just touch on. It's LED. The lights don't use a ton of power, so you can have them on all night if you want. It doesn't really use a lot of power. They're very minimal. And you can dim them by pushing and holding. And that'll dim the light on all three of them, okay? And then you just hold it back, goes back, boom, you're good. But let's turn them on because it's a little dark in here. Okay, so first off, you've got this storage compartment right here. You've got tons of space. It's all open. You can store lots of stuff in. The really important thing is don't block this. That's the intake for the heater. Okay, so you don't want to block that. But you've got this is a foldable blanket. That's in there. We've got a bunch of things in here. This is a fan, right? It's good to have a fan circulating. It also has a light. How do I turn it off? There we go. But the lights are cool. So spacey. Yeah, there's lights. So you've got a fan. Fans are great to have, especially if it's hot. You can circulate air. There's a first aid kit. There's bear spray. Okay, you might need that if you're going on hikes. You might have your own. These are just little flashlights, and they just pop up. There's that, or there's spotlight as well. So they're just small little ones. Just good to have. Right, there's mosquito coil, broom, and there's first aid kit. So this is just, you can hang stuff up here as well. So you can put your bags in there. You can do lots of things. You just make sure, if you turn the diesel heater on, you don't want that blocked. This is where the heat comes out. Okay, this is a fold down top here. This can be down or it can be up. It can be either way. You've got paper towels in here. You've got some extra TP. You also have a shower curtain. Okay, so you can put this up there, and then you can take the hose, and then you can shower. But it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold water. Okay, very simple there. So yeah, when we're driving, we fold this up so that it's hooked on the magnet. This is extra water. It's good if you need water, just put it in here, because this is your water filter. This filters everything. Okay, so this will filter 99.9% of anything. You can fill it up from a lake, you can fill it up from a river. It has a filter in the bottom. You have to keep the filter wet. Okay, so if you dry out the filter and we have to replace the filter, that's a charge. We don't want to do that. Plus, keep it always wet, then you know it's always working, right? So you've got extra water here. This is your water jug there. I'll show you how you get it down. It's pretty easy. But then we've got other storage here. So you've got, this is the top for the sink. But you can just store it in here. You've got more hooks, more hanging. You've got more storage here. So you've got toilet paper here. You've got bowls. These fold out so you can wash your fruits. Right? 2 of them, so you got lots of space. And they all fold away, which is really nice. You've got coffee. So pour over. Okay. So that's in this one. Down in here, you've got all your cooking stuff. So you've got pan. You've got bowls. You've got wine glasses. You've got more paper towels. And more bowls. Okay. But you've got to make sure when you use it that this is in all the way so that you won't, because you'll have it, and if it's like that and you squeeze it, there goes your food. You don't want that. Okay, so that's that section. You've got a smoke alarm here. If it goes off, you need to shut it off. Just unplug it and turn it off. Fire extinguisher is good. There's soap in here. There's cloths. Again, this is your sink, right? So you need to make sure the plug is in all the way. Otherwise, the water will just go through. But if you don't have that hose hooked up, eventually you'll just back up, right? You'll have nowhere for the water to go. Okay, this guy is really cool. So to use it, you pump it. It's really full right now. You pump it, you take this hose, and then it just sprays. So it's all done by pressure, okay? So just keep that there. Sometimes a little drips come out, but that's okay. Now, to fill it, you can take it down from here. You unscrew these, and then you lift it, bring it down, and then you unscrew this, and you fill it. Yeah. Don't fill it too full because when you put this back in, it's quite long, and it'll push water out. Yeah. So you just got to remember about that. But other than that, it's usually like a one-person job, but if it's full, it'll be quite heavy to get off. So that's that. So when you're cooking, every time you cook, you want to turn the fan on, and that'll get all the food and smells out. So that's really good. Also helps circulate the air a lot. So you just push this button, turns it off, and then you pull it down, and you got to make sure it's down all the way for when you're going, right? Stove. Okay, so here is the shutoff valve. If you want to see it, it's right there.
Okay.
Can you see it? Okay, so it's in the off position right now. I just got to turn it.
Okay, just quick.
Yeah, it's just this side.
Okay.
So off, on. So gas will come through. Gas will not come through. Easy. Stove, perfect. So when you use the stove, what you want to do is you want to open this, turn this on, and then you want to have the window open as well. And to open the windows, you push this. So this is in the closed position.
Yeah.
You push this gray button, and then you can open the handle, and then you pop it into place. Okay. So at minimum, you want this open, on, and then one window. And then what you do is you turn the propane on, take the stove up, put it down. This just keeps if it's windy or anything like that, if you've got air. And then you basically push, turn to light, and then hit. Okay? Now that's going to run off because we don't have any propane, but I just turned the shut-off valve off. Okay, off. So everything is off. So now I have my propane on. I'm going to make sure I've got my propane off. You can wipe down the stove. It's easy. This part comes out like that. Yeah. Really easy to wipe down, really easy to keep clean. 2 maximum. You're never going to have more than that, obviously. And then you just put it away. Lift up. And then it folds up. Easy. And then you just wipe the top. And then you turn this off. Shut that guy. And then we'll go over the windows as well. You got more stuff down here. There's lots of stuff for you guys. Okay. Dish towels. This is your cutlery set. And when you're using the pots and pans, the handles can get hot. So you've got a hot pot. All the things in here. So it's got a grater, ladle, whisk. It's got stuff. Wine opener. You got a knife in here as well. Okay, so all that to remember. And that's just in here. You've got more storage in here as well. This is your garbage can. So there are garbage bags. They're in here. So you just put a bag in, and then you can just close it when you're not using it. Okay, what do we got in here? We've got cutting board, salt, pepper shaker, spatula, spoon, scissors. What's in here? Ooh, your forks. So they just click in, you just lock it. That's your fork.
So there's 2 styles. There's that, and then there's proper cutlery underneath.
Yeah, you can use whatever you want. Garbage bags, again, more cutlery, another pack of cutlery. There's some teas in here if you want to have some tea, go for it. And then you've got more things like more tongs. You've got hot dog cookers if you want, a can opener. This is a lighter for if you're trying to light a fire. Push the button, it goes. Yep. Okay, another cloth, more scissors, just stuff. So there you go. So lots of things in there. So that's this little storage compartment. And you've got lots of room to store your own stuff as well if you want to, right? Okay. Okay, the fridge. So it's a fridge and a freezer. Okay. You can set one side as fridge, one side as freezer. It's really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on for you right now. So you push the power button, it comes on. Okay. It's in Fahrenheit. I don't know if I want that. I'm just going to hit OK. I'm going to set the temperature. What are you guys going to use it as? A fridge? As a freezer? Both? Just fridge? Just fridge? Okay, so we can keep it both on each side. So 28 is 0, right? I'm going to hit OK. We'll go back in. So that's that 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't want to change that. I want to change this one. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go up to 31, 32, 31. There you go. Hit OK.
You can change it to Celsius.
I'm sure I can. I'm just going to figure out how. Probably in the settings somewhere. Display. Oh, no, that's not it. Temperature units. There we go. We'll go Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go back now. Okay, so 16 Celsius is way too hot. So we want to change that. I'm going to set the temperature. Oh, no, it's at -1 right now. Okay, so I'm going to change it to like +1, +2.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 degrees on that side. That's in. Oops. Okay. And then 2 degrees on that side. Hit OK. Now your fridge is going to start cooling.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is now you start using up a ton of battery. Okay. Battery, the fridge will use the most power out of anything. So if you don't need something frozen or you don't need something like it doesn't need to stay super cool, once you've got it cool, you can actually turn it off and it'll stay cool for a little bit, and then you can turn it back on. But basically, if it's not too hot, you shouldn't. You can see right now it's running 52 watts. Okay, so that means that this alone is using 52 watts just to start cooling it down, bringing it down temperature. So basically, and then once you've got it going, we just keep this in here just to help dry and keep the smell down. But this is basically your dish towel, right? You put that back in your dish towel holder, and then you just have to make sure, right? So this is both sides are going to be fridges, right?
Yeah.
So all you got to do is just make sure that it's closed, and you're good to go. Okay, easy stuff. Sometimes there'll be like a warning thing that comes on. If it does come on, just turn the power off, unplug from the battery pack, plug it back in. It should be okay. Okay, so it's all brand new stuff. So the windows are really important. Windows are great because they have a lot of functionality to them. Do you want to go on this side? So really important when you're driving, the windows have to be fully shut.
Yeah.
Okay, like all around, fully shut. And the windows can do a lot of things. So this is just like one setting. You can have them more. They can be quite wide open if it's hot. But if it's windy, you don't want that because you don't want the wind to rip off a window, right? It'd be no good for everyone. So just always keep an eye on what the wind and the weather is doing, because we've actually had the first time we used the awning in our other camper, the wind came up just out of nowhere and ripped the whole awning right off. And that was the first time that we used it. So you have to watch for what the weather is doing. Okay, so to close it, it's really easy. So you just push up and then come back down because it's got all these latches on the side. Okay, so this is the closed setting. Okay, so it's closed all the way. You see that? Okay, so now it's completely sealed. That's how you want to drive with it. Okay, there's another setting, which is really nice at nighttime or when you're sleeping if you want air circulation. Because in a camper, you're going to be emitting heat, right? And there's going to be cold air from the outside. And so if it's really hot on the inside and cold air is on the outside, that makes condensation. So what you want to do is you want to circulate some of that hot air and let fresh air in. So to do that, this is the kind of like the nighttime setting, is you just open them up, but then you put it in the latch right there. You see that?
Yeah.
It's in the latch. So that's technically not closed, right? I can still scoop a finger in there.
Yeah.
So don't mistake that when you're driving as closed position. Okay, so that's the only thing. Really good for letting ventilation in, and every window is the same.
Yeah.
So fronts, side, here, so it all applies. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it all the way because you guys are going to be driving, right? So it's all in the closed position. Now another thing that's really nice is they have blackout blinds. So you just pull that down, nice and slow, and then it latches at the bottom. And that you like if you're in anywhere that has like fluorescent lighting or anything like that, you want to cancel it out, there's blackout on every window. So it's really nice you can sleep during the day in here if you wanted to. But when you put it back, you just got to be very careful and go nice and slow just to make sure that it rolls up really nice. Okay. Another thing that's really nice is the opposite, the mosquito screen, right? So you can have the windows open, make sure there's no bugs coming in all the time. When you're driving, really important, the windows are in closed position and all the blinds are put back from where they were. Super important. Storage bag, great. You can throw your clothes in here. Somebody's socks. Yeah. Storage on the side here. These you can unbuckle them. They can come down. Perfect stuff. Okay. Then we will go into the bed. So you've got your bedding. It's all washed, and you've got pillowcases perfectly cleaned. Your mattress here, the cover on it, and then you have these things. They're called port ledges. Okay. So I'm gonna grab some stuff here. I'm going to show you on one of them, okay? Okay, so you can sleep this way. I will do this one then. Yeah. Okay, you can sleep this way, or you can sleep this way, which this way is quite nice because what you do is you pull this ledge out, it hooks there, then you take this extra cushion and it goes on, okay? And then you take the carabiner out, and this will latch right there. And then it will latch up there. Okay, so you do that on both sides. Okay, you can't put weight on here. It's like just for your feet. Yeah, if you actually step on it, it'll crack. We've had one crack. But so now you're sleeping this way, and it's basically a king size bed if you go that way. So it's nice. It's really nice because then you don't have to climb over people. It's really easy because then you can come down, you can go to the bathroom, you can get back up. It's super nice. So that's that. And basically to put it away, it's just the same thing. You take it down. I'll leave it up here for 2 seconds because I'm going to show you the sunroof. Okay, sunroof's really cool as well. There's a little latch, a little button right here. Yeah. You're just going to push it. Okay, it comes down. And then, as you can see, there's these latches here. And then I'll put it in this one here. So this is the first position.
Yeah.
And then I can also lock it as well. Okay. It's really cool. Is you can actually get up here if you wanted to. You could go on the roof if you wanted to. There's a rack on it as well, a storage rack, but you probably don't have that much stuff to store. But really important. So this is in the all the way open position. Again, you got to be really careful about the wind. You don't want to lose a sunroof, right? And you know, if it's really hot, will we open this and like let the air circulate? It's really nice because it does have, again, the mosquito screen, and then you also have the blackout as well. But if it was really hot, I would open this and let some air circulate. Just keep an eye on what the wind's doing, and then you can bring it back in. There we go. And then it comes down, and you just latch it up again.
Okay.
Okay.
And now it's closed.
Now it's closed, yeah. You'll know it's closed because this will be under here, and it's all the way at the top. Yeah. Can't get it out. Okay, I'm gonna put this away. So yeah, putting this guy away, really easy. Lift up the mattress. Take the carabiner off. You can just put this up here. You can store it however you want, and then this just goes right back in. So this is really light material. That's why it's really important you don't step on it. You got a ledge here, which is great for storing stuff when you're sitting and relaxing. Okay, you got all of your carabiners for this if you need it, the portledge. It's all in here. This is just another basket. This is really important. So this is if you are at a powered campsite and you wanted to charge the battery if you didn't have a lot of battery power. This is called shore power. So what happens is there's an extension cord in the truck. Remember I showed you that? Okay, that extension cord, there's a little side compartment on the battery where you can put something in from the outside. And you're gonna put that extension cord in through the little outlet. And then someone's gonna be in here, you're gonna push it, and then you're gonna see the extension cord coming through, you're gonna grab it. That extension cord is gonna plug to the power outlet at the campsite, okay? It's gonna have a female end, you're gonna take the male end of this, you're gonna plug it into that. Then what you're gonna do is this plugs into the battery, okay? It plugs in right there. But to charge the battery on shore power, you have to unplug the solar, okay? So this is the solar. So you can think of this as your input, right? Incoming power.
Yeah.
So if I unplug the solar, okay, my input's at 0 watts right now, right? So then what I would do is I would take this end and I would plug it in here. And now I would be getting power from outside, okay? So really important to remember that. You can't charge both at the same time. Just a fact. And then your solar is in. So we're not facing the sun and it's a cloudy day, but we're still getting a little bit. We're not getting a lot. You would want to make sure that you're parked facing south or southeast, southwest, some way. You don't want to park with a bunch of trees over top. The solar panel's at the front.
Okay.
So just if you do need to get power and you're not getting enough, that's probably one of the reasons. Try and be away from the trees. Make sure you're facing south. Simple stuff. And then if you are at a campsite that has power and you need to power up, go ahead and use this. Okay, that's what it's there for. So all that good stuff, that goes down under here. And you have so much storage space in here too, you can put more of your stuff, groceries, whatever it is that you need. Okay. All these cushions come up, they move, okay? This goes down right here. this makes a couch. It's really nice. I'll show you that. Okay, but I'm going to just go through the battery here really quickly with you. Okay. Can you see, Carrie?
Yeah, I'm good. You guys can get
Okay, so the battery is pretty simple. This is 12 volt. This one right here, that's your fridge. Okay. This right here, this bottom guy, that is your heaters, the diesel heater, and the lights, and the fan. Everything else is just, if you wanted to plug something into here, you could. You just got to make sure, if you don't have that button on, there's no power going to this. So if this button's, because the minute I do that, I start using more, right? So now there's no power. Even if I plug something into it, it's not going to do anything. Same here. The USBs, you got USB-C, you got USB A's as well. You got to turn on the button. Otherwise, no power will go to those. And you don't want to have them on all the time because it's just going to use power and it's not really doing anything, right? You can also turn the light out if you're sleeping. If you don't want that blue light there, you just turn that off. Easy. Okay, and it comes back on. And that's basically it. There's not too much else that you need to know about this. Just if you do need to charge shore power, that's your inlet, and you got to unplug the solar. Okay. And sometimes too, if you're not getting solar, you just give it a little wibble. Just make sure it's in all the way. Okay. Easy. Okay, the table's pretty easy to do, but it's challenging at the same time. Like it's really easy, but it's also very challenging. Okay, so first thing I need to do is get this guy off. So there's these handles. You see the handles? And then there's these buttons, right? They're not buttons. They just let you pull the handle out. So I need to unloosen it. So I'm unloosening it with this turn, but I got to move the handle back. So I got to pull the handle out and then turn it. And you see it clip back in? Yeah. That's how I know I'm actually turning the handle. And then I can just take this guy off. Where does that come off? You remember where that comes off?
You got to like the top part?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So what I was doing, was I was loosening this. So this table comes off like that. Now, as I said, if I wanted to tighten it, I have to go this way, right? This is to tighten. But if I want to loosen it, I gotta go this way. So anytime you want to do something, you've got to pull the handle and then turn it to get it to the other position. So that loosened that. This will loosen this because this is really tight right now. So I want to loosen it because I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So this is to loosen. I gotta pull it up. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so you see this swivels really easily? That's this guy right here. Now, if you want the couch, we call it the romper room, but if you want it's kind of like, it's the extra bed as well. But it's also a great sitting area if you don't need a table or you don't need anything like that. You just have to remember you got to put it away, put it back when you're driving. So again, for this one, I just want to move this guy out. So I need to loosen it. Oh, that's really tight. So that's unloosen, pull out to turn it back, and then voila, that's that. So this will go in like this. Just gotta move this guy, move this guy. Okay, slides in. Now, the reason why you can't drive around like this is because there's nothing holding this in place, right? But in terms of a place to sit or extra sleeping, it's really nice, right? Yeah, you got like, oh yeah, look at this. I'm reading my book. Oh. Right? So very nice, and it is extra sleeping. More comfortable like this, but if you need a table to work or you need to eat dinner, right, you can put it back. You got your window here. Again, window, same thing. Another storage bag. There's stuff in this one, though. There's just body towels, face cloth. And then you got a little JBL speaker, Bluetooth speaker as well. Oh, the diesel heater. Okay. So this is the diesel heater's interface. Probably going to use it. You might use it. You never know. It has diesels in 2 gallons of diesel in the tank, and you can fill that out there. That'll last you like 2 weeks. Okay, in the wintertime, we can run it for 4 days straight, and then it'll just use 2 gallons. But if you're not cold, you don't need to use it, right? So, but how you do is so it's off right now. The snowflake is off. What you do is you would basically push this. Now, coffee means it's turning on. Okay, so this works like a thermostat as well. Yeah. It's gonna run 80% of full power continuously in this mode. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to use it to a different mode, but we're gonna let it start up. When you do turn the diesel heater on, you gotta let it just start up, let it just do its thing, and then when you turn it off, it'll just take its own time. It'll turn off like it takes a couple minutes to get going. Okay, so now I've turned it on, I gotta leave it, and it's just gonna do its thing. There's different modes, so you can set it so when you're sleeping, if the temperature drops to like 15, you can have it turn on automatically, and it'll run for a certain period of time, and then it'll turn off again. Okay. Yeah, so these are the different modes. So I go here, settings,
Yeah.
heating mode, right there. And if you go panel sensor or external sensor, it'll run on as a thermostat. That's, so I'll show you that. I'll put in the panel sensor right now. I'll go back home, starting. So now it's going to run till 15 degrees, but let's say it's at nighttime and I don't want it to get too cold in here and I'm sleeping. Now it's going to run, it's 21 degrees in here right now. So if I wanted to turn on. Okay, so now it's set for 24 degrees. So it's going to run till it hits 24 degrees. Then it's going to turn off. No, that's wrong. It's going to run until the temperature in here is hotter than 24 degrees.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's going to turn off.
Yeah.
And then when the temperature drops below 24 degrees, it's going to turn on again. Yeah. Really nice to have in the wintertime. Yeah. You might not even use it right now because the sleeping bags are warm, the bed's warm. Sometimes it does get cold, right? If you're in the mountains and you're high up, it can get cold at night and you might want it on, you might use it. So that's basically it. So I'm going to turn it back to power mode. That's the easiest way. Is there anything coming out of there now? Nope. Home. No, not stopping. Anyway, you push it, it starts, takes some time. See, now it's coming on. It's coming on, but I've stopped it, so now it's shutting off. You can feel the air coming out. Yeah. Toilet's easy, right? It's toilet, but it's not. So, okay, very easy to use. This is where you put water in. So it has two tanks. It has the holding tank, black water, and then it has the water tank, right? So you want water, when you use it, you have to pump. Then there's this button right here. That puts water into the tank, okay? You use it, then what you do is this handle right here opens the tank, okay? Okay, that part's easy. You gotta have water in, so you pump, put the water in. This is where water goes. You can fill it with this, or you can fill it with spray. It's full, yeah. And then this is where you monitor how full it is, okay? Now, I'm gonna do this outside because it's a little too tight in here. Okay, so I'm gonna move the toilet over and I'm gonna show you how to take the toilet top off. There's a latch in the back that you just lift up. See that latch? You just lift that up, pull, and then you can lift the water tank part of the toilet off, and then you're left with the black water tank. So, very important, you have two handles on the front and the back when you're lifting it to dump. This is the part where you dump from. That's the cap. You're going to leave the cap on all the time. There's an arrow there that shows in the closed position. When you dump, you need to turn it to the open position, and that opens the valve on that dumping part. So you're going to open the valve to the open position. When you're done dumping, you put the cap back on, close it, and put the back position in. Make sure it's in the closed position. Obviously, you don't want that moving around while you're driving. And then latch the front on, and then click the back on. And that's how you put the toilet back together and put it back where it belongs. Easy stuff. Okay, we got a fire extinguisher. That's the drainage for the shower. This, I'm going to show you, this is the orange bucket for your gray water with the hose that I showed you. There's a dustpan here as well. That is for when you're using the sink, you're going to hook that hose up to the outside tap, and that's going to be your gray water. And here I'm showing our camper how just letting him put the romper room table, the dining table back, just having them do it on their own, because it is an experience to do, because the handle itself, you have to pull the handle out and then turn it to whether you're going to be tightening it or untightening it. So we're going to put the base of the table back on, going back from the romper room to the locked position for the table for when you're driving. You put that table stem back there and then tighten it. Yep, so you gotta loosen it, lift it to the tightening position, tighten it, pull, turn it back, tighten it. It's kind of like a ratchet. And then that's in place. And what we're going to do here is that's the part of the table that you're going to want to secure is the swivel part. And we're going to put the table back in. Again, I'm just showing how to do it. Put the table back in. And the top swivels as well. We're going to put that in. We're going to push it back up against the seat, and then we're going to make sure that that's tight. And so as you see, I'm tightening it, I'm lifting, I'm bringing it back to the top, and then I'm tightening it again. And here our camper is doing that as well, just practicing, because it does take a little bit to get used to. Sometimes you get going back and forth and you feel like you're not actually tightening it, because you are just going back and forth. If you're not pulling and turning back to the top position, you won't tighten it. You'll just keep indefinitely loosening it and tightening it and loosening it and tightening it, right? So now we're making sure it's really tight. So you can see I tighten it, I pull, and then I bring it back. Easy once you get the hang of it. It's just a little tricky because you can't really see what you're doing. It's hard because it's underneath the table. But that's how you secure the table back in position for when you're driving. Nice and secure. Okay, now we're in the truck. Just basically going to be showing how to start a diesel truck. If you haven't done it for the first time, you do have to let the glow plugs warm up. We've got lights, they're in automatic position, really easy to do. So you will turn the key into the start position, or the on position, and it's going to say, oh, diesel preheat is in progress. And that's letting the glow plugs warm up. Okay, now I can start it. Push brake in. Lever to move back and forth is right here. Okay. Things you should know. This is your RPM.
Yeah.
You rarely get above 2,000. It's diesel, it doesn't go high, just so you know. There's full fuel right now, so 100% full tank. When you bring it back, full tank as well, so remember to do that. It tells you the range on the tank. You're going to get 600 kilometers on this tank of fuel. Okay? Your fan is right here. Air conditioning, and where you want it to go. If you're on a gravel road, always close the windows up and put the AC on, because otherwise there's so much dust, it just comes in and it gets really dirty in the truck. And we want to keep it clean. You've got a 12-volt lighter right here. You've got a USB right there. Okay. Your radio is right here. You do whatever you want with that. The parking brake is over here. Okay, so the parking brake, you push in with your foot. It's engaged right now. So to disengage it is this handle right there. Okay, now the parking brake is off. But if I'm parking, you push it in, I'm parked. Okay. If I'm going to drive, it's telling me the parking brake is on. Okay. So I would disengage it, put it back in, and you kind of pull forward when you change the gears. Okay. In and then up. Okay. You're only going to ever use drive, reverse. This up-down stuff, you don't have to worry about any of that. If you're going down a big hill, like a big hill, and you don't really want to ride the brakes too much because it'll overheat the brakes, what you want to do is there's a thing called an air brake. Okay. This is basically like an engine brake. This will slow the truck down based on the engine. So if you're at a big hill and you're going down, you can't do it on just every little hill because you actually have to push the button. But it's a big hill and you're going down, the full exhaust brake on, it will, as long as you're not touching the brake, the engine will basically regulate itself. The minute you touch the brake, it shuts that off. Okay. So if you're at the top of a big hill and you're going 80 and the speed limit's 80 and you don't want to start racing to 120, take your foot off the gas, push the engine brake on, and then just let it, it'll just stay at 80, and you'll just coast down the hill, and then when you get to the bottom of the hill, turn it off, and put back on the gas. Okay. Very easy. And there's two modes. So when I push it, now it's off. I push it once, full exhaust, push it twice, it goes to automatic. So I don't mess with them. I just put it on, I use it, I turn it off. You just got to make sure you turn it off, otherwise your mileage will be very poor. Okay.
If you tap the brake, it turns off, right?
Yeah, if you actually touch the brake, it will turn it shuts the engine from doing that down. Okay, so two-wheel drive. you're only probably ever going to use two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But if you do need four-wheel drive, 4x4, all you have to do is turn that button.
Okay.
It's flashing four-wheel drive now.
Yeah.
Now it's on.
Okay.
Okay? You're never going to use 4-low. Just don't use it. You're not going to need it. 4-low is for when you're like super stuck or doing crazy things, but this truck you can't do crazy things in this truck. It's too big, it's too heavy. So rarely ever, unless you're going up a steep hill and it's gravel and you notice your back wheels are spinning a little bit, you might want 4-wheel drive, because then your front wheels are going to turn as well. But most of the time, you're just going to be in 2-wheel drive, and then it's going to switch back. Okay? That's how you know you're off.